What's up, everyone? This is DYANAROZAY. Welcome to my channel. You guys, I am back with a review for KeKe Wyatt's World, Season 1, Episode 1. I told y'all I was going to bring this to you. This was a really good episode, okay? We know KeKe Wyatt as a vocal powerhouse, but we get to see her with her family. So we get to see how she is with her children, who are hilarious, by the way. Very expressive, tons of personality, hilarious. Then we're also going to see her with her mother, her manager child, but that relationship seems like it could be up the creek, and her husband. Y'all, there is a scene at the end of the episode that is a woo chow moment. That is why I named this video, with all due respect, Shut Up. Okay, I'll tell y'all a little more about it when we get there. But yeah, look, there is, first of all, let me say, if you guys were a fan of the Braxtons, which also aired on the We Network, they have been looking for another Black singing family to put on their network. They've been looking for someone. The Braxtons brought them in a lot of money. They were hoping that they would come back, but there was a whole bunch of conflict with contract and money issues, so they didn't get to bring them back. I was hoping or thinking that it would be similar, because the Braxtons was really one of my favorite shows. But this is not the Braxtons, okay? The Braxtons had a lot more glitz and glam to it. You know, Tamar wanted everybody to know, the shoes she was wearing, what type of handbag she was carrying, how much money Vince had in the bank at the time, because we know that he's gone through some money issues. But KeKe Wyatt, even though she lives in a huge house, it looked like a compound, okay, which is what she needs, because she has at least 11 kids. KeKe Wyatt is very much down to earth. It is giving Roseanne Barr, though, in regards to glam. Very much Roseanne Barr. And check it out. It's right there on the screen. You can see it before your very eyes. That is her husband, Zachariah. He had this do-rag, that black wife beater, and black pants on throughout the entire episodes. I would say they showed at least 4 days worth of filming in this episode. So we do see some clothing changes from KeKe, but we didn't see anything from Zachariah. Now, that doesn't mean that he didn't, just change into a different t-shirt and black pant, but no, I'm guessing not. It doesn't feel that way anyway. But anywho, y'all can let me know what y'all think about all of it in the comments. Talk to me while we go through. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit your notification bell, and share the video. Y'all already know I appreciate every single one of you for rocking with me. Now let's get on to this first scene, which started out with Miss KeKe herself. She is there with that microphone to her mouth, and you would think she was singing, but no, baby, she is literally talking to the kids. She is not going to compete with all the noise in that house. I told y'all she has 11 kids. So when she has something to say, she will grab the microphone, she'll turn them speakers up to 200, and she will jar the hell out of anybody, anywhere, no matter what they're doing. Okay, you could be asleep. You could be reading a book. There is no quiet time in this house, though. So when she sees something she doesn't like, she will talk to you through the mic. And this time she is making the announcement that someone left a slice of pizza in her windowsill. So all the kids are looking like they are fit to be tied, because they do not like that microphone at all. And then we get to see this young little girl who is about 3 or 4 years old walk across the living room to get her slice of pizza. She said, "Baby, that's my pizza and I'm gonna eat it," okay? And then she even took a bite, or tried to anyway, child. You see her bite into it, and then with all her might, she is pulling it from her teeth, trying to break into it. I'm like, that pizza is cold as heck. It is literally, she's biting into it like it's a brick. And then later in the episode, you see that same little slice of pizza on a coffee table. So she still didn't eat it. Anyway, that was our introduction to, I think, the second to the youngest child. Then we got an introduction to her oldest kiddo. His name is Keyver, Keyver. This young man is 22 years old. And when I first saw him, I was like, he looks like he's 32, at least in mannerism and demeanor. He is giving 32, maybe 39, child. Okay. But we find out in his confessional that he is often the caregiver to his younger siblings. And maybe that's the reason, sometimes taking care of people can age you a little bit, especially when you're young. And he's also playing house in his mama's house. He has a live-in girlfriend that he's been dating for 4 years. And her name is Takia. Let me put up Takia. Takia is 19 years old, been living there for 4 years, y'all. She even has a confessional on the show. So she is a staple, okay? She said that she has been dating Keyver. They met online. And she said once she came over to his house to visit, she said his family became her family. She said she never left. Now, I don't know who her parents are and why they would let their 15-year-old daughter live with their boyfriend. That's number one. Live with strangers. That's number two. Okay. But that is what happened. And hopefully she will explain more as the show goes on. Hopefully we'll see what's going on there. But yeah, she's very, very outspoken, and you guys will see what I mean in just a bit. Okay, let's get to the next person they introduced to us. This young man right here, who looks like a lost member of the group DeBarge. This is KeKe's other son. His government name is Raja Key. I think this might have had 2 accent marks, if I'm not mistaken. 19 years old. Anyway, he clearly is comfortable in his own skin, very expressive. He was wearing a 22-inch lace front wig. You can see them nails there, got his turquoise nails on, lips glossed for the gods. But he let everybody know that basically he was the young man who had cancer a couple of years back. I think when he was like 8 or 9 years old. They said it was a really tough road for him, but he was able to get over it and recover, which is amazing and great. Glad that he is here. And he also seems to be the one that is closest to his mother. Like, he reads her energy and emotions really well, compared to the other children. But that's not to say that he doesn't say what he wants to say to her. Okay. Next person we were introduced to is KeKe's husband. This is Zachariah, child. I already told y'all about him. He is constantly in a militant state here, even though he's super nice with the kids and everything. We get to see him. He looks like he is KeKe's rock, very soft spoken and everything in the beginning, child. And KeKe said that this is her third husband. The first 2 were absolutely no good. I think she said one of them didn't work at all. For the 10 years that they were married, she said he didn't work. I forgot what she said about the other one, but she said her relationship with Zachariah, she said that that's the love of her life, that they were friends for a very long time, met in the church, I think. And when he, they started dating and he came into her world, which seems to be pretty chaotic, he knew how to pick up the slack. So he was feeding the kids, helping with homework, making sure people had breakfast, and it was just a natural state. So she finds him to be the perfect helpmate. And these two, Zachariah and KeKe, have a child that is in the hospital, 8 months old. Child, I'm pretty sure that child has an accent mark too. I think the name is Keza or Kiza. Either way, child, let's just call him 8-month-old baby, child. Anyway, this baby is in the hospital for a genetic disorder. So it's a pretty bad one. The survival rate is really, really low. And the child has been in the hospital for most of its 8-month life. But KeKe gets a phone call in this episode from the doctor where they tell her that she could bring him home. So she is getting prepared to bring the child home. She's super excited. She gets on her microphone and calls everybody in the house down to the living room for a family meeting. And that's where we get this shot of the entire family. I don't know if all the kids are here, but a good majority of them, including the girlfriend, okay? And then the little one who was eating the pizza is on her daddy's lap. But anyway, KeKe is super excited. She's like, you guys, I want y'all to know that I got a new record deal. I am signed to, what did she say? Key Records. And absolutely nobody in the house knew what the hell she said. Everybody's like, a shiner, what? A shiny record? Like, everybody was making fun of the name, poking at it. The younger ones really didn't know how to pronounce it. And KeKe was getting a little agitated because she really wanted people to be excited and to congratulate her. And that's when Poopy recognized that she was going to lose it. So he clears up the kids really fast and said, okay, calm down, finish what you were saying, to his mother, because he didn't want any problems. But the mom goes on to say that their younger sibling will be coming home from the hospital and that she's going to need some help because she'll be in the studio recording. And that's when everybody kind of turned on her. She wasn't expecting it, I guess. But they were like, we don't want to watch the baby. It's a special needs baby. He's hooked up to a lot of things, a feeding tube, an oxygen tank, all of these things. They were like, well, we don't want to do it. And KeKe was pretty hurt. She was pissed, but she was actually more hurt. And she said, that's fine, y'all. I'll take him to the studio with me, just like I used to do with y'all. Like, she feels like she has the weight of the world on her shoulders. She ends up walking out the room and she is telling herself that she doesn't want to cry. So she's in another room saying, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. And that is when this girlfriend, y'all, goes into the room and she got super vocal with KeKe saying, why are you in here acting like we ain't supporting you? Which sounds just a tad bit abusive to me, and like she was overstepping her bounds completely. Okay. Y'all can let me know if y'all saw that scene, what y'all thought. Cause I was like, girl, pack your things and go home. But KeKe was just in there taking it like, she was, one of the kids too. She does call her mom, y'all, but it was, it was a no for me. But anyways, KeKe's mom, Nona, ends up knocking on the door and she's trying to pull some stuff into the house. So she was like, can anybody help me? And that's when some of the kids run in to help her. And Poopy tells his grandmother, KeKe is hormonal. And the mom went, oh, hormonal. And KeKe overhears it and said, who's saying I'm hormonal? Who's saying I'm hormonal? So her mom sits down with her. She tries to have a heart to heart. And she's like, KeKe, you are not an emotional person. You are not a crier. Okay. She was like, for all of your life, you're not a crier. And now you are crying at the drop of a dime. And she suggests that she has postpartum. She was like, you need to see somebody about it. And then she tells her, you also need to call your manager, Andre. KeKe hasn't spoken to her manager in over 25 days, you guys. And her mom is concerned. And she said, listen, ever since you stopped talking to Andre, your world, which is already crazy and chaotic, is upside down. So I'm going to need you to call him and help bring some balance back into your life, right? And KeKe is like, I don't know if I can, he really did me wrong, basically. And that's how that scene ends. Then we get a scene with her manager, y'all. This is Andre right here. He has a closing, his home closing, bought a new house, and all of his family and friends are there, including his boyfriend. He's letting everybody know that he is living a fabulous life. He had this spread and alcohol and food, and he pulled his sister aside and let her know, listen, my client, KeKe Wyatt, of 15 years, okay? So we haven't talked in over 25 days. And I don't know where we stand. He said that he is still doing business for her. He's still collecting money for her, still booking gigs for her, but she will not take any of his calls, won't return text messages, emails, messenger pigeon, nothing. He's like, I don't know what is going on. And his sister says to him, KeKe is toxic, and this may be a blessing in disguise. So you need to cut your losses and just run for the hills. Just consider it a blessing. And he says, maybe you're right. So this is giving us some insight into KeKe's life with her manager. Now, her mama's saying you need to repair it, okay, because your life has turned upside down. But Andre's sister is saying you need to see it as a blessing in disguise. Get the hell out of there, okay? Don't turn back. Get out. And then we get a scene with KeKe and her husband. They are at home. You can tell that the cameras stopped rolling. Everybody went away. They gave us a black screen that said KeKe had a breakdown. And she's sitting on the steps, and she's letting everybody, it looks like this might be a little bit of calm after the breakdown, where she's saying, listen, I got a lot on me. I have a child that is coming home that the world sees as disabled, and I've never had to deal with that before. She's letting people know that her manager hasn't been there, and she doesn't know if she wants him to come back. That is how betrayed and offended she was by their interaction, even though he made it seem like it was very little. Like all he did was, agree with her husband that she shouldn't go to a party where she said she felt uncomfortable by the host. She was like, the host makes me uncomfortable. I should, and I don't want to go to the party. The husband said, don't go. And he said he agreed with the husband. Andre said he agreed with the husband. And Andre said that she told him, or excuse me, Andre said that she told him, you're agreeing with him. You're not my friend, basically, and hadn't spoken to him for 25 days after that. That was weird, right? Anyway, she's letting everybody know in this scene she can't even go to the grocery store without like 15 people trying to take a picture with her, get an autograph. She's tired. She can't turn off being KeKe Wyatt. She needs some me time, some serious, counseling too, it sounds like. And then we have one of the producers, even though everybody has left with the big cameras and the boom mics, we have a producer who is filming this with an iPhone, and it looks like they tried to hide doing it because you can see something like a coat or maybe a finger right there in the corner, that little shadow. So that was kind of disturbing, but they got that on camera. And then in the next scene, I told y'all we were gonna see KeKe's husband out with them arms out again. Now, everybody in here is wearing long sleeves. There's a guy who's at the hospital with his long sleeves on. KeKe's mom is in the middle, that brown jacket. That is, again, long sleeves. And then KeKe's husband, same deal, y'all. Whew, he got on that wife beater, black pants or black jogging pants, and that do-rag. But they are bringing the kiddo home, and KeKe is making jokes, and she said, I hope I never see y'all again. And she gives them blows a little kiss toward everybody so that she can bring her baby home. She said that she feels totally complete now that she has all her kids home with her. So last scene, this isn't a long video at all, but last scene is Andre and KeKe. Andre has to go over and see what is going on with KeKe. Again, just haven't spoken to her. Business is still coming in, and KeKe's not responding to anything. So he decides to show up on her doorstep. And when he gets there, unexpected, okay, unannounced, unexpected, KeKe's husband, Zachariah, answers the door. And as soon as he sees him, he gives Andre a nice, warm hug. The kids are jumping in Andre's arms. Zachariah calls Andre his brother and says that he is happy to see him, welcomes him into the house. In confessional, one of the producers were like, are you upset that he shows up, unannounced? And he said he can come over anytime, day or night, unannounced. I don't care. So now we have KeKe's husband and her mother basically begging Andre to come back and repair whatever it is that's going on with KeKe, because KeKe is not 100%. She has not been the same since this man, since they broke up, whatever happened, right? But Andre comes in the room, and KeKe's not happy to see him. She makes a face like, what in the F are you doing here? She says he is about as welcome in her house right now as a fart in an elevator, okay? KeKe is country as I don't know what. She has a twang to her accent that is deep, deep, deep South, okay? But she is sitting there, and she's letting him know that she's not happy to see him, that he is not welcome. And he is being as sweet as pie, I have to say. He was doing all the right things, speaking softly, letting her know that he is waving a white flag. He goes over, he hugs her. He kisses her on the forehead. He tells her that she looks pretty. He lets her know, I'm here. We need to talk, girl. In our 15-year history, never once have we not talked to each other the next day. And now we've gone 25 days. And KeKe said, listen, I was hoping you would catch the message because I didn't like how you handled yourself. And that's when Andre looks over at Zachariah and says, listen, do you mind giving us a moment to talk? We really need to have this heart to heart. And Zachariah says, yes. He goes out of the way. He goes upstairs, and KeKe and Andre starts talking. And KeKe said, listen, I didn't like the way you handled me. I told you that I was overwhelmed. I told you I had a lot of stuff going on. And I didn't appreciate you just blowing me off and saying, oh, girl, it'll be okay. You'll get over it. Just get over it. And clearly, he doesn't know she has postpartum. In fact, I would say that no one in the house does. She probably heard it from the first time from her mother. But she was really expecting her best friend, because I'm going to call Andre her best friend. She was expecting her best friend to know, and she didn't like the way he just kind of blew it off. But Andre, who says he wears many hats, child, he was like, listen, I am her manager. I'm the barber. I'm the babysitter. I'm the accountant. I'm the dry cleaner. Whatever KeKe needs at any time of day or night, I have been there for her in 15 years. No other manager would do that. And he feels slighted, but he is still, really being cautious with what he's saying, even though he wants to get through to her what happened, what the breakdown was. So in his confessional, he says KeKe is full of drama. Like, when you hear KeKe, think Broadway, because there's never a moment in her life where something isn't going on or happening, and it's always registering at 100. And when he's talking to her, he says, KeKe, I didn't know. All you had to do was call me, because for me, what you were saying and expressing felt like any other day of the week. So I couldn't say, okay, you're experiencing a health crisis or whatever, because I truly didn't know. And KeKe's response to that was, so you're saying it's my fault now? She said, you should have known. Basically, she was like, well, I felt like me not talking to you would have showed you what this was. And she said, you should have known. And I feel like you're saying it's my fault. And now KeKe is turned on the diva. Okay. This is where things start to turn up a little bit, and we get to see more of her personality, because at the end of the day, KeKe is a star. Okay. She is a star. And you can tell that she does have some diva in her, right? And she also has people in her life who will become whoever she needs them to become. She's just used to that, especially if she's all drama. So he's sitting there listening, and she keeps saying, so you're saying it's my fault? And this is KeKe literally trying to turn on the guilt. And before forgiving him, if she was going to choose to forgive him, she going to stick it to him. But she hears her husband on the step, and that's a turnoff for her. So she takes her focus off of Andre, and now she puts it on her husband, and she's super condescending, and she's treating him like one of the kids because she hears him on the steps. And she's like, oh, you eavesdropping now? Okay, so she's letting him know, I don't appreciate it, but she's saying it in a funky way, and he knows it too. So he's like, okay, well, you calling me out, I'm gonna make myself known. And he starts coming down those steps. Now, when he starts coming down the steps, child, he is staring a hole into KeKe. And that is when Andre says, hey, brother, we got it. You don't have to worry about it, brother. We got it. And I was like, oh, he's seen them fight before, and he's trying to stop him from coming down them steps by telling him it's cool. I'm okay. You can go back up there. Don't do this. Don't do this on camera. But it's too late. Zachariah has been triggered. Okay. And that's when he says to KeKe, with all due respect, and he says that as soft and as gentle as pudding, okay? But then he screams like a drill sergeant, shut up. And I'm not kidding. I could see the birds flying away from the trees when he screamed out, shut up, okay? And I was like, uh-oh. KeKe lives in a house in a world full of yes men, but that husband isn't one. And he might coddle for just a little bit. But when the time comes, he does not want to be challenged by KeKe. And the two of them literally are staring holes into each other when he told her to shut up. And y'all let me know if y'all saw it, what y'all thought about that part, okay? I can't wait to see what happens next. But I do feel like the mom, I feel like Andre, for the first time in 15 years, not going over to the house to say, hey, girl, let's talk sooner. Kind of, that was him drawing a line in the sand. I think he probably did contemplate just ending this relationship altogether. But clearly, KeKe's mom and KeKe's husband does not want that. And KeKe's husband was sitting on those steps listening because he probably was like, I'm going to go down and intervene if I hear it going left, because I really need Andre back in KeKe's life. She's clearly, like I said, upside down in her emotions and everything that's going on. But anywho, y'all let me know what y'all think about this show, this episode, this review. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share, and I will check you all on the next one.